The Frederick County Department of Emergency Communications is powered by a dedicated team of 111 full-time professionals, serving as the critical link between the public and first responders. In 2024, they handled 443,163 emergency and non-emergency calls, dispatching 372,255 calls for service, with an average 911 call processing time of just 213 seconds. Their team earned 15 EMS Excellence Awards for life-saving cardiac arrest interventions in 2024. They replaced a 20-year-old CAD system and deployed Convey 911, a multilingual text translation platform improving accessibility for all. In addition to 21 new hires and 7 promotions, their staff completed over 2,500 hours of training. At the Frederick Police Department, 146 sworn police officers and 56 civilian employees serve and protect the city of Frederick. In 2024, the agency responded to 83,262 calls for service, with their average response time to high priority calls being 4 minutes 37 seconds. The department continually works to strengthen relationships with city residents with the use of community initiatives and outreach events. In 2024, there were 14 new hires, 3 promotions, and 4 retirements. Officers continue to train and gain certifications throughout the year so they can best serve the public. In late August 1619, an English pirate ship named the White Lion sailed into the mouth of the Chesapeake Bay and anchored at what was then known as Point Comfort in colonial Virginia. According to handwritten records, the ship's cargo included some 20 and odd Africans seized from a Portuguese slave ship headed to what is now Mexico. When the captives from Angola disembarked from the White Lion, it marked the beginning of 200 years of slavery in English-speaking America. Calvin Peterson, the head of the local history group Project 1619, calls the landing site near the city of Hampton, now known as Fort Monroe, as ground zero of the African imprint on America.
The first Africans who were brought here were destined for a life of servitude. They had to work the plantations from sunup to sunset, the tobacco fields, the corn fields. They had to work these fields with no hope of ever being free.
The captives of the White Lion were sold or traded to wealthy white plantation owners in Hampton and the Jamestown settlement, which became the Virginia colony. A few days after the White Lion landed in Virginia, another ship, the Treasurer, arrived carrying a few more slaves, including one named Angela. Historian James Horn heads the Jamestown Rediscovery Project, an archaeology project in the Jamestown settlement where Angela spent part of her first years in bondage.
With Angela, we can tell the much broader story of slavery and the beginnings of slavery in our country and racism, which really went hand in hand with slavery, and at the same time give Angela, through our imagination, some sense of identity, some sense of dignity.
Eventually, an estimated 12.5 million Africans will be put onto ships bound for the Americas and Caribbean between 1525 and 1866, according to Emory University's Transatlantic Slave Trade Database. Out of that number, nearly 11 million men, women, and children survived the Middle Passage, the treacherous voyage across the Atlantic, chained and crowded below decks with little water and food. Though most slaves from the African continent were taken from Ghana and Senegal, more than 5 million who landed in the Western Hemisphere came from Angola, which had been colonized by the Portuguese, who dominated the slave trade for centuries. Angola accounted for roughly a quarter of the 400,000 Africans sent to the North American mainland. Richard Green, VOA News, Washington.